Hello YouTube, Kevin here. Sorry if I can't speak properly because I'm not really feeling well for these past few days. But I still wanted to do this video even though I have a whole backlog of videos to edit. Anyways, this is the second repair I have to do to a relative's computer this year. The first one was a HP G14 HP G40, one of the 2010 models that belongs to one of my aunts, and then for whatever reason the internal Wi-Fi doesn't work anymore, so I decided that the easy way out was just to give them the TP-Link Wi-Fi dongle I had. Now next I have to repair another one of my aunt's computers. This is an Acer Aspire E5-14, or the full model number is the E5-474G-53G4. It has GeForce 920M with 2GB video RAM. Nice, got dedicated graphics with an Intel Core i5, which looks to be a 6th generation. I think, yeah, either 5th or 6th generation. Is it? Hold on. Yeah, it's either 5th or 6th generation. Wait, hold on, let me check. Okay, yeah. i5-6200U, so it is a 6th generation Intel Core. And and one thing that's I kind of like about the design here is that if you actually look on the lid here, Acer actually did like this kind of a linen design, but this is actually plastic, but it's textured to look like linen even on the bottom, and I don't need to worry about having showing the bottom because with Windows 8 and later the product key is usually stored in the BIOS, and I think as part of the Windows logo requirements for OEMs, Microsoft requires the BIOS splash screen to be in a specific format, which is basically the Windows 10 boot screen, but instead of the but where the Windows logo should be is the manufacturer's logo. A lot of companies have been doing that since Windows 8. I believe it's a Microsoft requirement. I'll just give you a quick a tour of the ports here. Nothing much to see on the bottom except what looks like a door for memory and door. Yeah, it has a symbol, so it's a door for accessing the RAM. And then it looks like a tiny pinhole. You could probably stick a pin in there to disable the battery. I think that's what it is. I don't know, but it shows a symbol of a battery being lifted out from a holder. So I think it's probably you poke a hole in there and it disconnects the battery. That's what I think it is. Or could be wrong. Then on the side here, we have power input, disk drive, which is apparently M-disk compatible, even though it's not actually marked on the drive itself. It just says DVD multi-recorder. And then on the left here, you have USB 2 and headphone jack. And on the front, we have a SD card slot. Then you got power on and battery charging indicators. I wish my Dell has a charging indicator on the front, but I wish it had a power on indicator. Then on the left, we just have a laptop lock port, air vent, exhaust vent, VGA without the screws, so I don't think it's Elmo 3 approved. And then there's an Ethernet port, HDMI and 2 USB 3s. But anyways, on the inside here, the power button is in the same place as a lot of Macs, and that is right here. You can see the little white circle, that's the power button. It still has like stuff like the spec sticker, and there's actually a Cortana sticker up there. If I can actually zoom. That actually says ready for Cortana. Not available in all countries. Also here in it's also not available here in Singapore. Pause and read the spec sticker if you want to. Now let me just turn this thing on. Just like that. And currently it's running Windows 10 Anniversary Update. I've checked the bottom of this computer and it is manufactured October 14, 2015. And it's going to log on instead. It's logging on. Anyways, this computer belongs to a different aunt of mine who doesn't really care, like, is very basic computer user. As you can see, the lock screen background is the default Windows background. The theme is the default Windows 10 stock theme that you get, the plain white with the blue borders. And the background is actually the default Acer background. So you can clearly tell she doesn't really, like, she's just a very basic computer user. And another thing, now I want to go ahead and show you the main problem, which is actually with the Wi-Fi. So I don't want to actually risk connecting this to my main network. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn on my mobile hotspot on my tablet. Okay, so that's my tablet's hotspot. Yeah, update virus protection. Yeah, you can't really see it, but it says update virus protection right there. But anyways, there it is. I'm gonna go connect to my tablet. Let's see if it actually connects. I do already have 4G on here. And for those, okay, connected secured, what the heck? Okay, this is weird. Now I know she uses Google Chrome as her default browser. There's actually Firefox 38 installed on here, although I believe that is actually installed as part of the Acer bloatware. Okay. That's interesting. Earlier it was not working, it was refusing to get an IP address, and I should have screenshot the setup page of the router at my aunt's house, but it was actually showing the MAC address of this computer's Wi-Fi card, and they said that the IP address assigned was 0.0.0.0, although I suspect maybe there's some kind of virus that's preventing it from working. I mean, that's really weird. I'm gonna go and update definitions and probably do another scan. Actually, I decided to go handheld, and while waiting for this thing to take ages to update, I decided to go ahead and take a look at some of the Acer bloatware that's on here. First off, there are shortcuts for Agoda and eBay. I believe those are just put in by Acer. I think Road Geek had an Acer, and on it there was a shortcut for eBay.
And on the desktop we have an eBay icon.
Oh, do you know that on some computers a restore program allows you to restore that eBay shortcut?
Thank goodness, because if I don't have that eBay shortcut on my desktop, I am gonna freak out.
Tell me about it. It really is one of those things. It's it's. I mean, this is a bad thing about custom building your computer. You don't get that shortcut by default.
I know. What's a poor person to do? Well,
if there's enough call for it, I could always do a workshop on how to, make sure your computer has the ebay.co.uk shortcut or whatever.
Yeah, we also got the eBay shortcut here, but we also have this one. So, and then another thing here is that there's Firefox, which I don't want to open right now, but I believe this is actually Firefox 38 that appears to have been installed as part of the Acer bloatware, because it actually has some of the plugins related to some of the other Acer bloatware, which includes the Amazon apps right here, as well as Wild Tangent trial version. This one, I believe that's just Windows 10 bloatware. This here, I think this is probably also Windows 10 bloatware. Power DVD drive, Power DVD 12, believe that's Acer. There's something called Acer Explorer, I don't know what that is. There's also something on a desktop called App Explorer, I believe that is also another piece of Acer bloatware. And the antivirus is still updating. I believe this had a trial version of McAfee, which I uninstalled the last time I serviced this computer once previously. Acer Explorer. There's just links to even more Acer bloatware. You'll see here. Acer program group, AB files, AB photo. It runs down there. Acer care center. Acer power button. Really? What is this Acer power button thing about? Yeah, this thing is kind of running a bit slow. Sadly, this thing does not have a hard drive indicator. And as much as I like to install this activity indicator app that I have over on my Dell, I don't think I want to install this for them because I want to just keep things simple and not install any other junk besides Windows 10 itself, and then let them install whatever they want. Got Avast software, Avast secure line. There's a chance that's probably also Acer bloatware. Yeah, a lot of apps are not launching, probably because there's a lot of drive access going on. Now in the start menu there's a games folder. I believe all of these are Wild Tangent as part of Acer bloatware, because I know Wild Tangent preloaded on computers, they'll actually inject into the Windows 7 games folder, but on Windows 8 and later it just creates this because it's trying to inject into Windows 7, but of course this is Windows 10, not Windows 7, so instead just creates this games folder that is entirely bloatware, trial versions of games, Office 2016, which I believe I uninstalled, Solitaire Collection, I think that's Windows 10, Wild Tangent Games app, yeah, that's obviously Acer bloatware, Windows 10 Upgrade Assistant, okay. But the rest are just Windows stuff. So I thought maybe I'd just do a whole reinstall, make it run faster without all that Acer bloatware in the way. Google Chrome, I believe, is the default browser being used on here. And I can actually show you that the version of Firefox installed on here is actually part of the Acer bloatware. If it actually launches, and still installing. As you can actually see here, Firefox is actually trying to, as you can see, Firefox is not, no thanks. Yeah, acer15.msn.com. So this is obviously Acer bloatware. It actually has, let me check the add-ons. Now for those of you who are, oh dang it, that is so slow. But let me check the add-ons here and go to extensions. Amazon Assistant for Firefox is the only thing that's installed here, which coincides with the Amazon apps that are preloaded as, so it is very obvious that yeah, plugin for Mozilla, all this, so it's very obvious that that version of Firefox is actually installed as part of the Acer bloatware. Now, since this antivirus is taking a long time to update, I think, you know what, I'm actually going to go ahead and just do a whole reinstall of this thing. Oh wait, I forgot to actually show the system properties. So Windows, and press Windows and break to get to system properties. We have all of these specs. You can pause and read. Windows 10 Home Edition as expected, because this is a consumer grade laptop. So so what I decided, I'll go ahead and back up all their files and go ahead and do a reinstall. However, I'm not gonna plug in my external hard drive right now because I'm worried that this virus may actually copy itself onto my external hard drive. So instead, what I'm gonna do is gonna go and do a restart. We'll get real lost again. Just run away with my and repeatedly hit F12. Now the F12 shortcut is not actually enabled by default. I had to actually jump through a number of hoops to actually go and enable the F12 shortcut. But now I want to go into Cruiser Blade, and here it is. Now this is actually running in UEFI mode. So when I go ahead and select Windows 10 setup 64-bit, watch what happens. Now normally when I'm booting the Windows 10 setup from the USB, I just see the Windows logo up here. But watch what happens. To prove to you that this is actually running in UEFI mode, the image is not actually stretched, it is properly in proper resolution. You can actually see that this is booting in UEFI mode because there's an Acer logo instead of the Windows logo. Usually you only get the Windows logo if you're actually putting in legacy BIOS mode. And then of course your computer manufacturer's logo if you're putting in UEFI mode. Windows setup. It looks like you started an upgrade and booted from installation media. If you want to continue with the upgrade, remove the media from your PC and click yes. If you want to perform a clean installation instead, click no. But yeah, I just want to do a clean install. And yeah, the touchpad is rather jumpy in the BIOS, so I mean the touchpad is rather jumpy without the actual touchpad utility. So while installing Windows 10, I'm gonna just go ahead and just download the touchpad utility for this laptop so that I can go ahead and install it later. But I just want to do a clean installation, language to install, English, time and currency format, which is English Singapore, US keyboard, and install now. It's starting. Okay, license agreement, I'll just put a tick here. Next, I want to custom, and here we go. Now time to delete the Acer recovery partition and everything. Actually, maybe I'll just delete only the recovery partition. Wait, why is the recovery partition only 500 megabytes? What the heck? Then how does this thing even get reinstalled if it's only 500 megabytes? What the heck? This computer is really weird. But you know what? I'm gonna just go and just delete all of these and just create a whole new one. Click OK. Busy. And since it's booted in UEFI mode, it should go ahead and install in UEFI mode. So it goes ahead and create all the required requisite partitions, and I'll click next, and it's away copying the files. Fun fact is that the Microsoft loading icon they use across pretty much all their products ever since Windows 8. The Microsoft loading icon that you see there, it is actually a font called Seiko Boot Semi-Light, and this is actually the font that contains the Microsoft loading icon. So it starts from here. It's like a whole stop motion kind of thing. So that's how the Microsoft loading icon is drawn. It's actually drawn using a special font. And that's how the Microsoft loading icon can actually be easily scaled, again because it's a whole font that they created. Then all the other glyphs that you see here, I believe this is just a GUI Semi-Light. Yeah, slightly different actually, but you can kind of get the idea. Okay, looks like it's doing something. Just now it's doing all that loading, and now we just get a blank screen with a mouse cursor. I don't think the mouse actually... Okay, yeah, it does still work. Interestingly enough, the touchpad is less jumpy now. That's interesting. So like sometimes the touchpad is jumpy, sometimes it isn't. And again, I wish this thing had a hard drive indicator. It doesn't. And it shuts off. Okay. And it restarts. and it does some more loading, although you can actually see the loading icon has gotten slightly bigger because it is actually already in the Windows GUI. So you can press, press Shift F10 to bring up the command prompt. Is it? Yeah, there's actually a trick that I think Bob Pony revealed in a screenshot he posted on his Discord server back when I was a part of that. That is, it's finally launched into the Windows first time setup. I'm gonna go ahead and just connect to my own Wi-Fi. That is English International layout, and I'm gonna put my password. Next. And I want to go and customize. And I want to turn this off. I'm going to turn off all of this telemetry stuff to keep things simple for my aunt. Although I'll just leave location services turned on. Actually, I'll just turn off location services since I doubt she uses a lot of universal Windows platform applications. And my phone battery is running. Okay, it's great, it's still recording. No thanks. No. Normally I'll leave some of this turned on, but since this is not my computer, I'm actually gonna turn off some of the telemetry stuff. Update P2P, I'll just leave that switched on, since we do have fast internet in this country anyway. Windows browsers, my guess is that means just Internet Explorer and Microsoft Edge only. So I'll turn that off, since I believe she just uses Google Chrome instead. I believe some people use Google Chrome because it's kind of simple for people who are into basic computers, because when you open Google Chrome and then the new tab page, there's a Google search box right there. So yeah, I can understand why there's some people who do use Google Chrome. In fact, for myself, I used to use Google Chrome, but I stopped using it a while back. Okay, make it yours. I know she doesn't actually use a Microsoft account, so you're just gonna create a local account, and let me just flip back into my. Sorry about that, but right now, at the same time as I'm recording this video, I'm actually offloading the footage that I took earlier into my Dell laptop that I showed you just now. But anyways, sorry that I skipped a bit, but after that screen asking to create a user account, the only other thing is asked about was Cortana, which I believe is not even available here in Singapore. Anyways, actually you can kind of use it if you just set the thing to English US, but there isn't an English Singapore option, and we are now in Windows 10, which means I can go ahead and quickly unpin all of this junk. I believe for this, I believe the way this actually works. Okay, what is this thing? I believe for some of these are basically like software developers will pay Microsoft to put the stuff in here. But since my aunt never personalized her start menu anyway, just unpin all of that. But anyways, I'm gonna just go and unpin everything from the start menu, just to make things easier for her. Because I don't think she uses a lot of apps on her computer anyways, and I'm gonna just browse the side of the start menu here, just to make sure there isn't any junk that's being installed. Anyways, right now it is still searching for graphics driver, but as you can actually tell, I just realized the reason why I don't use the international layout in Windows 10 is actually because, like, when you try to type inverted commas, it is a little bit weird. Like, let me just show you in Notepad here. So if you can actually type, so if you can actually just zoom right in here. So if I type inverted commas, it doesn't actually show up. So you can actually see that it actually type an accented E. So let me press the inverted commas and I'll type a Y. You can see accented. So I realized that's the reason why I don't use the international layout in Windows 10. What the heck? It's even... Oh, damn it. No, uninstall. I don't want any bloatware. Yeah, it's actually starting to slowly install Windows bloatware. But I'm just gonna uninstall only the third-party ones, just leave the Microsoft ones. Looks like it automatically loaded the Windows Spotlight image for the lock screen background. Actually, I think I'll just turn off the Windows Spotlight feature.
Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again.
I actually just pinned at least one app, which is the Edge browser, just so she can actually maybe just go online and get whatever she wants. Since my aunt just told me just do whatever I can, I'll just do a clean install and then later she can just install whatever browser she likes. Instead of bloatware getting in the way and stuff, she just downloads whatever and I can go into a new folder and just restore everything. Okay, looks like the touchpad started getting jumpy again. Let me see what devices are there that still need to be set up. No unknown devices. Let me check the HIDs. Microsoft input configuration. HID compliant touchpad. Yeah, I have to go and download the drivers. I'll be right back. Anyways, right now, sadly I forgot to save the screenshots that I took earlier, so I fortunately was able to recreate the desktop layout from the video footage that I took earlier, and I was not able to actually get the touchpad drivers I downloaded on Acer's website to actually install. So the touchpad is still sometimes jumpy, and I can understand why they have been using this laptop with an external mouse now, because the touchpad can sometimes be a bit jumpy. So move Chrome down there, since that's where the shortcut was previously. Right now I'm just running Ninit just to install their iTunes and Google Chrome, which are the two only other applications they use besides Microsoft Office. For them, I can just tell them they can just go ahead and download Office by just scrolling down here and then just clicking Get Office. And then they can just install their Office 365 subscription. Anyways, yes, they are paying for an Office 365 subscription. Although it's the Office 365 subscription, it comes in a retail box. So my guess is that whoever at the Challenger or New State or whatever other computer store actually upsold them on Office 365 instead of just getting the lifetime license of Office 2016 Facebook app. What is that? Yeah, Windows 10 bloatware. For me, it's okay that Facebook and Twitter are automatically installed because I use those services, but I don't think they actually use that on this computer. Yeah, HD Audio Manager, that was there previously, so the Realtek drivers automatically installed. Let me just scan the start menu to see if there's any other Windows bloatware that I need to remove. It looks like there isn't, besides the Microsoft stuff, which I'm leaving on here. So once now it's finished, I can go ahead and safely remove the USB. Actually, I'm gonna put that icon right there so that's easier for them to safely remove. And save to remove hardware. Done. I'm gonna move that iTunes icon right there. I did not save the iTunes library because all they really used iTunes for was to just get all the children like preschooler kind of educational content onto their iPad. That's the only thing they really used iTunes for, so it's probably easy for them to just recreate a new library. And I did also copy back all their downloads. I copied back all their documents, and they never had any pictures they saved in the pictures folder. Videos, music, yeah, nothing. So what are we using now? 50.3 gigabytes. I forgot to actually check this earlier about what I was using previously. But anyways, looks like the Windows 10 install drive, the Windows 10 clean installer still saved a Microsoft recovery partition. However, this time this Microsoft recovery partition should not install any Acer bloatware. It should just do a clean install of Windows if they ever go for that option. So here this laptop, I removed all the Acer bloatware and it's now just running clean Windows 10. And actually I should pin their Google Chrome into the taskbar. I don't think they actually sign into a Google account anyway, so I can probably just skip the accounts. Okay, yeah, make Chrome your default browser. See, in Windows 10, browsers are not able to actually make themselves the default. I believe it's a security thing, but change that to... I doubt they even use Microsoft Edge. I'll just leave that as Google. So anyways, that's Chrome setup. I'll let them set up iTunes by themselves. I'll just unpin that. I'll just put Google Chrome. I'll pin that. I'll pin Microsoft Edge in case they want to use that. And then... Actually, no, I'll just leave Google Chrome there. They can just pin whatever they want. But I want to leave at least one program pinned here, so that they actually know they can pin stuff here. I actually also did re-enter their username. They just left the computer name as the default, so I just left it as whatever Windows default computer name. But anyways, that's it for this video. This is Kevin signing off. Thanks for watching. Good night, everyone.